if you guys can, if you can just ask yourself, let's just say after Dr. Stacy spoke, and that was the end of the event, you can just get up and go home and start building. You've been fed enough, okay? Well, it's not over. I've been up since 5 this morning. I get these downloads. My wife is passed out sleeping because I get these things that, and I always say, you know, on the way over here, Olga and I were speaking. We say, you know, speak to us what these people need to hear to make them better leaders. And I do that last night. I do that this morning. At 5 o'clock, I just wake up with all these ideas in my head, and I wrote them down because I told you in the beginning of this, every SPD is going to come here and bring it. And they have. And they've given you nuggets to take your business from where it is to where you want it to be. Okay? So, we're going to do a little recap. We're going to do a little recap. Okay, so we went over the 72-hour rule, okay, how to help somebody get a win in this business. We went over becoming manager, making machines. Dr. Stacy talked about the compensation plan and how you can make money and the easy way to make money. Now we're going to talk about targets and strategies, okay? Now, what we do in our organization, we do small wins. Lots of people say, I want to be an SPD in this month or next year. Listen, we're not even promised tomorrow. Okay, let's talk about the small ones. Everybody wants the big win. When the small one gets the big win. We never talked about SPD when we got involved. We just talked about manager making. Now that you get all these nuggets, I want you to think about your 30, 60, and your 90-day targets. Now we call it targets. Most people call it goals. Okay, what is your target? You got fed here today. You're going to be. You just enrolled in this business, and now you want to become a manager. So what is your target within the next year? Where do you want to be? These are the questions we need to ask our new brand partners in our teams. Where do you want to be? Ask questions. Just don't leave them on the chair. Let them sit. But then they end up sitting, and guess what? They're going to end up withering away. Some people need to be told what to do. They don't know what to do. And I said yesterday, did everybody know what they were doing when they enrolled? The answer was no. I didn't know what to do, but I asked questions. I was always involved. I was one of those incubators, okay? So what is your target in the next 30 days, okay? So let's say you want to be a manager in 2 weeks. That's your target. Now, after the target, there's a strategy that goes with it. The strategy is what activity you have to do to become that manager. What's the activity? This is an activity-based business. More oftentimes, people worry about the results when it's really all about the activity. So you want to be a manager in 2 weeks. Okay, that's the target. What's the strategy? We're going to have to do about 3-4 meetings a week so you can hit that manager status. Oftentimes, when we personally enroll somebody, we get them there within the week. Overpromise, underdeliver. We want that trust factor to go. We want to get somebody that win. Remember, in the next 72 hours, let them earn a check. Okay? It makes people smile. What is your 60-day target? What is your 90-day target? Okay, 90 days you want to be senior director. Fantastic. That's your target. But the strategy behind it, are you willing to do the strategy behind it? Are you willing to give up some time? Are you willing to give up some New Jersey housewife time? Are you willing to give up TV time? Are you willing? Are you willing to do that? To sacrifice. You're going to sacrifice. Every SPD here sacrifice time, effort, sleep because of their target. Now, we had our targets when we got in. For much is given, much is required. We went 8 months straight, Sunday to Sunday, because I had a big target. The strategy behind that was crazy. We stopped a week before our wedding. True story. True story. And what is your target? But you have to stay consistent with that. It's like taking a shower every day. Some people don't do that, right? Bad example. Bad example. What is your target, folks? Okay, what is your target? 30, 60, 90 days. And guess what? After the 90th day, you can accomplish big things. And what do you do after that 90 days? You make another 90-day target, another 30, 60, 90. 6 months, this business can change everything. You can it not. One person can change the whole trajectory of your business down in the roots. One person. One person. You set another 90-day target. Forget about this year stuff. I want to be an SPD in this month. Just concentrate on going manager for now. Yeah. Concentrate on going director. Concentrate on help someone in your group going manager for now. Forget about that. That will come. Are you getting this? Yes. During this process, you're going to see those unmotivatables. Remember them? Oftentimes, people want it bad for so many people, and you're trying to help the unmotivatables fly. Fly, chicken! Fly, chicken! Fly! When chickens don't fly. You fly chicken, you end up having chicken shit all over you. Motivatables. Stick with the motivators. That's where your concentration goes. They will eventually catch up. They will eventually catch up. All we talked about yesterday, about writing things down. We wrote things down. And before I met her, to piggyback on her story, I had a story too. I had a hard time in my life. I went through my storms in my life. And I wrote down the next woman I wanted to date, the income I wanted to get, the business I wanted within the next 3 to 5 years. She had to be white with blonde hair and green eyes. No, true story. I dated a Latina. Never again. No offense if you're Latino. Okay? I went international with this one. Okay? So when I was at that event and I was speaking, she walked in. Who would have known that she came and she fell? And I saw her, no one got up to pick her up and help her. And when I went up to her, she looked at me. She was white with green eyes and blonde hair. True story. I wrote that down. There's a woman I married. See, when you write something, you got to be detailed. And I wasn't that detailed. I said I wanted one without an attitude. I missed that part of it. She had attitude. But it keeps me grounded. We were ordinary people. We wrote everything down. And I'm going to show, she's probably going to kill me, but I'm about to show you right now. Okay? But she was sleeping, knocked out, and I get these downloads because I want you to understand that myself and all the other SPDs here are just like you. We started just like you. In our last company, that's where I met her. And we had a leader. We had a leader who took us to lunch. We want to take you guys to lunch. All right? You were expecting they're going to pour into you, and he sat us down. And they said to us, you are not going to come on this platform and brand yourself. Do you remember that? If she wanted to go off of that table and make him eat that bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, okay, forcefully. Because she was, how can you say something like that? But I learned something. Remember I said you're going to learn the good and the bad, the ugly in this business, but I learned something that taught me a lesson on what the leader that I will not, or I should not be. Teach people what not to do. Those experiences that you're getting throughout these years, you have to go through it. Because you're going to teach people what not to do, the leader they're supposed to be. Oh, okay. That's just us. That's our first date. Ugly sweater party right here. For Christmas. Ugly sweater. We were regular dreamers like everybody else, sitting there wondering, figuring it out. Our second date. Raymond's restaurant, having breakfast. Figuring it out. That was the event that leader sat us down and said, and poured curses into us. But we didn't get into that box to allow him to pour into us and say, nah. That's when we exited. And that's right. That's when we exited that company. And that's when she wanted nothing to do with the company. Yeah, the industry period. We're no different than everybody else. I looked like after he told me that. I trusted him because he was my leader. And that's why I felt like right after. Did he just tell me that? So we went to our first trip together down in the Bahamas. And we started dreaming. And she told me, do you ever think we're going to get that shot to do something in this industry? I said, babe, we're in preparation of this. So we started dreaming. And we were walking through this little strip mall in the Bahamas. And I always wanted one thing in my life that people cursed me that I said I couldn't get. I wanted a nice watch. I wanted a Rolex. And she goes, you deserve that, babe. And we went to a store and I tried look at that. May 15th, 2021 in the Bahamas, I put that Rolex on. Look at the tag that's here. Still. She put it on too. Look at the tag. We were dreaming. Just looking. We never said we were never going to get it. We said we were going to get it. We just didn't know when. And when I say you guys curse yourselves, I don't mean calling yourself the F-bomb, calling the S-bomb. I mean cursing yourselves that I'm never going to get it. Telling your kid, Mommy and Daddy, can we go on vacation? I don't know. Say yes. You don't have to put a timestamp on it right now. Moving forward, you see how that watch looks? 2 years later, I went to the store to get myself my Rolex. Stop! That's the Rolex that she had on 2 years ago at that same store. Looked the same thing, but a little bit more blinky. And I said, I'm going to get it for you too. And I got her that Rolex. Because we dreamt about it. We're no different than you. But we work for it. Everything that's given to you, it's not because you deserve it, it's because you worked for it. Stop that. Folks, oftentimes, we go out and we say, you know, we can't do something when you really actually can't do it. I said by the end of this weekend, these SPDs are going to bring it, you're going to change it, and you're going to realize you have that $1 million mindset. You just didn't think you had it, but you have it. Trudy said, I have 3 people in my business. I'll be a manager Monday and Tuesday. I said, you're going to do it tomorrow or today. That was yesterday. And she went manager yesterday. Because there is no tomorrow, man. There is no tomorrow. Sandy Feast, who was 73 years old in South Africa, was just about to go senior presidential director. And she started a team out in Scotland. And she goes, well, I'm going to wait for Chris Hathig. I'm going to wait. Do 10 push-ups, please. I'm going to call Chris Hathig so he can talk to that team. I said, why are you waiting for him? Call yourself. That is your team. What, can I call him tomorrow? No, you call him today. There is no tomorrow. And she called that team, fired that team up. And she went SPD 2 weeks later. Because she took charge of her own business. I said, Sandy, Chris is not going to help, is not going to make you go SPD. You're going to go SPD. He'll help you go SPD. But you're going to go SPD. Take charge of your business today, as the same we did and the same the other SPDs did. They took charge of their business. They waited for nobody. So here's the deal. We can go to a birthday party. Okay? I got a good analogy right here. And we go to a kiddie party, and there's this piñata. And in that piñata, there's candy. In this piñata is candy, and these kids line up to hit the piñata. And the first kid hits the piñata, the most popular kid in the party. He hits the piñata, whack, 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 it doesn't open. And the second kid, and then the third kid, and then the last kid comes in, the most scrawniest kid in the whole party. He comes, hits the piñata, boop, one time, and all the candy comes out. Now what opened up the piñata, the first hit, the last hit, or the accumulative hits? The accumulative hits is the ongoing process that you do every day in your business. You have something called invisible wins. And every day you contact somebody, every day you enroll someone, every day you tell someone that you believe in them are invisible wins in your business. But here's the deal. Most people quit before the candy comes out. Yeah. I don't care if the candy comes out. All we care with every SPD here is that you keep hitting the piñata. The candy will come out. When you write things down, whether you're a believer or not, it's biblical. Write it down. It will come at its appropriate time. You're in preparation for that one moment for you to excel in this business. Now, Claudia and Alexandra, they speak about the budget to launch the UK. Well, you go back to Meredith and tell them to increase that budget. Because whatever happened this weekend with these SPDs broke, you have to go back and report what happened. Tell them to increase that budget. Look around you. This is the UK. That excites me. That excites Dr. Stacy. That excites all the SPDs here. Are you going to sit there and just wait for it to happen? Or are you going to go make it happen?
Make it happen. Yes, make it happen.
We are going to come here again.
Yeah.
We are going to come here again. Because we're going to finish what we started. Now, I want you to ask these people, right? After this weekend, if you finally let go of that poverty mindset, stand up. If you finally let that poverty mindset go, stand up. And if you haven't, that's fine. Look at yourself. And look what happened. That's transformation. There's a 3-step process for transformation. One is awareness. Being aware of where you're at, accepting the data that you have of the help that you need. Then there's acceptance. Acceptance that I need a coach. I need an upline to teach me where I gotta go. Teach me, show me, lead me. And then there's the reconstruction of your mindset. And that's why you're standing up, because you let that poverty mindset go. Congratulations.
Isn't he amazing? That's why I fell in love with him. Guys, the activity that you are avoiding is what's keeping you and your family from being set free, from creating that legacy. I encourage you to soak up every single word that was brought to your hearts today, brought to your head. Leave today. Don't think about it. Start running. Let's step it up. Let's take it to the next level. London, this room next year, this room in June. Let's bring another 200 people here.
I want every SPD to come to the stage real quick. Sorry. And I want you to imagine and start dreaming about your story. Because every SPD here has a story, an impactful one. It inspires me to think that how she can and how he can and how she can and how he can go inspire people and show people to do the same. It inspires me the fact that Dr. Stacy, instead of putting her son to bed reading Little Red Riding Hood, she read him the compensation plan. Moby Dick is going into the G file. Okay? I learned something new. I want you to imagine yourself the same way we imagine ourselves. We were sitting there. Can you guys remember the day that we were sitting on there and saying, you know what? I'm going to do that too. And I want you guys to practice that. Do that pattern interrupt in your brain and say, you know what? I'm going to do that too. You can, you will, and you must. Your family deserves it. Your children deserves it. Nick Hathig, where are you? Okay? You saw something different this weekend. Give your wife the life that she deserves, man.
Yes.
Correct.
Now, what I want us SPDs to do, we're going to send a message out there, and we're going to videotape something. We're going to come here, and we're going to introduce the new leaders of the UK. And when we turn this camera around, you guys are going to yell to the rooftops that they can hear you all the way at Big Ben on who the leaders are. Are you ready for that?
Yes.
All right, let me just eat that. Yeah. All right, let's go. Don't worry about it. We're all going to do this together. All right, we're all going to do this. We're going to turn around and you're just going to spit at everybody's face. All right, guys, here we are in London, here in St. Pancras. We have just launched an amazing event here. I want you to look at all these SPDs that are right here that are committed to build this business, to build this country, and make it a better place for everybody else. But one thing that we want to do, we want to introduce you, the world, who are going to be the future leaders starting now because they self-evaluate and they realize they let go of that poverty mindset. And I want you to introduce you to the leaders of the United Kingdom.